is a legal vision in which today I am going to take the prosecution. Prosecution comes in the BNSS, Bharatiya Nagariya Suraksha Sanhita, the act which gives full details about the prosecution. Prosecution is nothing but charges spilled on the accused. The charges. You have committed these offences, all things, that is a prosecution. Who can do the prosecution? The magistrate who is a decision maker, who should do the prosecution. Whether the concerned investigator can become the prosecutor to say the other source of prosecution, to use a prosecution. But it is not so. The investigator in the concerned case can't be as a prosecutor to use the prosecution. So the prosecution can be used by the public prosecutor or assistant public prosecutor, advocate general and more person. Below the rank of inspector can't be investigator in the cases. So prosecution is a very significant one. It plays a key role in charging the person really accused. The accused person has to be brought under the acts. So the prosecution which says that to the accused that you have committed these offences, that's why you are prosecuted. So public prosecutor who gives the prosecution and brings all the witnesses and arraigns the witnesses and collects the evidences, and also collected evidences are submitted against the person against whom the prosecution has been given. The prosecution is used, and whereby collection of the documents, collection of the evidences, collection of the witnesses, and all collected and all submitted in the court and are used by the prosecutor, and through the prosecution that also the cases have to be also proved. Through prosecution, the prosecutor has to prove the cases against the person charged. But whether they can or not, for that purpose only they use the evidences and also witnesses and other documents and everything. But the accused has the difference. He can also break anything, defending himself against the prosecution. The prosecution also can be used by the public prosecutor, and who has the powers to do the really prosecution on the accused person. As far as BNSS is concerned, the BNSS gives through 2 or 3 provisions the powers to the prosecutors and to do the prosecution. The prosecution is not an easy one, and it has to take from the investigator all the matters and set right corrects according to the source of cases to get submitted in the honorable court. So the prosecutor takes a role from the investigator and collects all the matters and checks all the matters. After that only the charges are framed. After framing charges, the prosecutors clears in the way of the prosecution. Whether the prosecution can be withdrawn or not, it can be withdrawn. If it's withdrawn before charges framing, the discharge will be allowed. The result will be discharge. And if it is also after framing charges, it can be acquitted. Whether prosecution on particular person can be withdrawn or not, yes, can be withdrawn. The BNSS allows for it. A many reputed person on whom the prosecution has been charged, it has been withdrawn in many cases. Recent judgment in which Supreme Court of India has issued that no prosecution can be withdrawn against reputed person. If it's a reputed person, let him be so. The case is also public. The courts has to follow the provision. The prosecution should not be withdrawn. So in particular case, the Supreme Court of India has advised to the local courts particularly trial courts and high courts also. The Supreme Court of India has issued an advisory in which it has stated the prosecution should not be withdrawn whatever position the accused is, even in the refuted person and anything. That in the judgment case in which the person after prosecution became the MLA, that is a member of the Legislative Assembly, so that the prosecution was made withdrawn and later on it was revoked through the judgment of the Supreme Court. So such a importance in the prosecution is not an easy one. So that can be done by the prosecutor under the discretionary powers of the magistrate. Magistrate can decide who can issue, who can do the prosecution. Usually the prosecutors of the government, prosecutors and assistant prosecutors and advocate general and those who are doing that prosecution. Thank you.